Hey everybody, what's up? What's good? What's really good? It's me, Ryoka. I'm looking very blue, but I'm actually wearing deep, deep, deep purple. So these actually aren't the colors that I'm wearing right now. Holy crap, you guys joined in real fast. So I want to talk about what happened today and yesterday, and try not to be like overly emotional about it. So I guess I'll just kind of start at the beginning, I suppose. You know, I had seen some of Joey Gibson's videos and work out in Portland and Seattle. I liked the message that he had. He talked about peace, love, unity. He seemed to be really, really, really consistent with that message. Hey guys, South Carolina. Joey seemed to be, not seemed, Joey is consistent with that message about unity and respect and love, and, you know, getting moderates on either side of the political spectrum just to get along and hash it out. And I thought that was a great message to have. Let me bring up some other windows so I can see chats a little bit better. Let's bring up Periscope. Let's switch over to my YouTube live stream. Periscope. Switch over to. Let's see. I am streaming now, right? Okay, that's working. Oh, because my screen's not big enough, so I can't see the chat right. Oops. Okay, that's working. That's my fault. Okay, let me get back to it. So, hey guys, so I really liked Joey Gibson's message, and you know, when I heard that he was coming to San Francisco, I was like, oh great, that's awesome. And I reached out to him and I said, you know, thanks for coming, you know, I'm gonna be there. And you know, had I known sooner, like, I would have asked to speak myself. And he says, he's like, yeah, we got all our speakers and stuff, you know, but you know, he's like, you know, what would you want to talk about? And I, you know, told him I wanted to talk about Black Lives Matter, and I wanted to talk about, you know, race issues and issues with trans people in the community. I want to talk about the criminalization of sex workers in San Francisco, homelessness. Like, keep in mind, Joey's from out of state, so he doesn't really know the inner workings of the Bay Area. And not that he's ignorant, but like, you know, of everything here, but just that, you know, there's probably some small detail issues that he just doesn't know about because he doesn't live here. He doesn't get the headlines. And I felt it was important to have, you know, a lefty liberal centrist like myself. And he goes, you want to speak? Come on and speak. So he invited me to speak. Oh yeah, no, I love the police, man. People get pissed off at me when I say that. I don't. Police don't bother me. They don't. Like, I understand. I know I have reasons to not like the police, and believe me, like, when I see videos of crooked cops shooting people in the back, it pisses me off. But like, we live in a system, all right? You know, we live in this world. We're born into it, and we're you know, bound by the laws that exist. And you know, of the hierarchy, you know, there's the federal government, state government, local government, and then beneath the local government makes all the rules. And anyone living within the local government is expected to abide by said rules. And if you're not willing to, then find another government that you want to be part of, either another city or another state or another county. And I just respect the process that, all right, I live in this county, or I'm visiting this county, or I'm in this city, and there are laws here that I should abide. And then underneath the city, underneath the local government, is the enforcement. the police. And it's just common sense. Like, if police say move, then move. Like, I'm not the type to buck up to the police. That's a fight you can't win. And it doesn't bother me, Police say move. You got a press conference. Damn, I wish I could stay, but it's late anyway. Good job on that press conference. I didn't get to talk much. I got bumped out of the way. There was so much more I was going to get into at that press conference, but, it happened. It's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Yeah. So I reached out to Joey, and Joey's like, yeah, come talk. And I spent a week on my speech. Matter of fact, I've been trying to figure out how to get my speech out, like what platform to put it on, so I can share it with people. Like what platform, and I have not figured that out yet. So I can. So I'm still working on that. Like I just don't know where to put it. Like I got it, it's here. I mean, I can send out the Google Docs link. If I send out a link to Google Docs, can anyone edit it? Anybody know? Anyway, back to my story. So I spent a week on this. And, it was very hard-hitting and very thought-provoking and pointed, and I was really looking forward to getting it out. And at the same time, I saw the headlines. I saw the headlines say that white nationalists were coming to San Francisco, that Joey Gibson was part of the alt-right, and he was going to bring Nazis and all that. And as how that got out of hand, I don't know. Bring Nazis and all that. It's very unfortunate, that took the turn in the direction that it did. But I saw the headlines, and I didn't pay them any mind. We were working with the police and and the park services on how to cordon off the area and how to make sure we can get in and out, and everything was fine up until the last day. And I don't want to speak for Joey Gibson since he hasn't told me super directly. He's implied some things, but what I do know is originally the plan was that there was going to be no parking available to anybody who wasn't speaking or being part of the entertainment, and who wasn't speaking or part of the entertainment. And they were going to give us a very small parking lot someplace nearby, and we could park our cars there, and then we can get back to our cars and get out, because we're going to bring a stage and some equipment and things like that. And there were some logistics over how we were going to get in and out safely. If they were going to escort us in. What is this? You mean my stream? It's my stream where I'm talking about the kerfuffle of the Berkeley protest and the San Francisco riots. I shouldn't call it the Berkeley protest. It's the Berkeley riots again. The fourth time this year that there's been a riot in Berkeley. So we were in conversations with the police, up until the day of, and like I said, they were supposed to provide us a parking lot. They were supposed to provide us a safe way to get in and out. And the reason that was necessary is the mayor, Ed Lee, and Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi and Congresswoman Barbara Lee continued day after day after day, telling everyone it was going to be a white nationalist rally, that it was going to be a Nazi rally, that it was going to be a KKK gathering. And I don't, for the death of me, I don't understand how you can say that Nazis, Klan members, and white nationalists are coming to San Francisco when fucking everybody on the speaker list is African American or at the very least dark-skinned person of color. Like, that's just... Yeah, I was there today, so I'm getting to that. Since you're due popping in, Spencer, I was scheduled to speak at the Patriot Pair rally. And so I'm kind of encompassing like how this whole thing kind of started. So up until the day of, I was talking to Joey, and like I said, Joey said, like, oh, they're going to give us a parking lot. I was like, okay, that's great. You know, my original plans, I wasn't going to go to the parking lot. I was going to park somewhere miles, like, in Soma, and then I was going to take an Uber into Crissy Field, and then take an Uber out to my car. I know. He wrote multiple articles that it was going to be a Nazi rally. Apparently, I'm a black Nazi. I'm a Nazi, I guess. I guess I'm... Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Heil! So, the day of, I was talking to Joey. I talked to Joey 2 or 3 times the day of. And I gave him the final edit of my speech. I told him it was, after I practiced it a couple times, it was running at 9 minutes and 9 seconds. And I told him, you know, knowing my speech style, I can probably push that to 10 minutes. And I asked him if that was too long, because I didn't know how long he wanted people to speak. And he's like, no, that's okay, that's okay. I really like it, you know, do you. I said, great. You know, and he agreed with me that, you know, he felt it was important that a person of my status and my political affiliation, that I'm on the left, had a voice there. Because there was some other brothers speaking, and they're Trumpers, which is fine, but Joey wants it to be a very encompassing rally of people left and right, and I'm definitely on the left. Hold on. Tell us when I'm streaming. Oops. Crap. Okay. Sorry. Things happening. So people are sending me friends requests. You watch it Baked Elastic Scope in Hollywood? I don't think I met Baked in Hollywood. We talked while I was in Hollywood, but I don't think I ran into him. No, you're talking about... I met with Ice in Hollywood. Ice Poseidon. I've been on Baked's stream before, but I don't think it was when I was in Hollywood. It probably was in Berkeley. Or someplace else. I like Baked. He's okay. He's when I see him again, you know, I will see Baked again someday, and I have to tell him something. Like, he says some stuff about Jews. He says he's not anti-Semitic, but he does say some stuff about Jews. Like, in fact, he called an elderly Jewish woman a dirty kike at the last thing they went to. They were at some little thing at some city government thing, and he called this elderly Jewish woman dirty kike. She said something to him first, but that's not a defense. And for someone who constantly gets called a white nationalist, a white supremacist, anti-Semitic, those words shouldn't come out of your mouth. So I'm kind of upset with him with that. And when I see him again, I'm gonna tell him, and he might disagree with me or not. you know, or he might defend himself, and that's great. But like, I just think it's important to let him know, like, yo, you can't do that shit, dude. I mean, if you feel that way, that's great. You know, you're more than welcome to feel that way. But you can't be upset when people call you a white nationalist or anti-Semitic when you're calling Jewish women dirty kikes. So, yeah. No, I love having dialogue with people. And it's gotten me into a shit ton of trouble. So let me get back to the story. So we had a plan to get in, and then right an hour before, I sent Joey a message, and I said, yo, what's the deal with the parking? He goes, I'm on the phone with the cops right now. I'll let you know in a second. I was like, okay, great. Because I'm all hyped up and ready to go. And about 30 minutes later, he put up a message on Facebook saying, important message coming up in an hour. And then that's when he canceled the rally. Now, leading up to that, there were some very credible threats. There was a message board with Antifa that said that they were going to rush the barricades, and they posted photos with bats with nails in them. Some people posted photos with guns, that they were going to come shoot us. You know, people were saying, and some of it was just like trolling, like, you know, oh, fuck Nazis, fuck Nazis. And some of it was like, yo, man, I think these motherfuckers might try to come and kill us. But I was confident, you know, that, you know, I would like to believe that people, you know, have cooler heads. But at the same time, they just shot Representative Scalise. Was it Scalise that they shot at the baseball thing in Washington? I can't remember, sir. But, yo, they shot that Republican. Yeah, they shot that Republican dude, you know, at the baseball field. And that dude went there and said, hey, are the Republicans on the field? Bop, 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 bop. So when I'm getting tweets and PMs and messages and stuff, and, you know, they're sending photos, Scalise, when they're sending photos of them holding guns, sending photos of them with bats with nails in them and stuff, and they're saying, yo, we're going to rush the gates and fuck these people up, like, that's legit. Like, that's, I believe that. I believe that shit. In my heart of hearts, like, if you say you gonna come kill somebody, especially in the current political climate that we have, I believe you're gonna come kill me. So, but I still had faith. I had faith that the police would do their jobs, and it wasn't just SFPD. The Federal Park Service has a really, really good operation. Like, so SFPD has their officers, and then they can invite people from other agencies and stuff to come in. The park is federal land, and they have federal agents. And when we did get to Crissy Field, like, they flew in people from all over the country to come to Crissy Field for the weekend. And they flew in the guy who did the entire planning for the inauguration. He planned all the security efforts for the Super Bowl. So, like, the big dude who does all, like, these big plannings and stuff. So, you know, so they put in a shit ton of effort to make this happen, and to make it be safe. But like I said, you know, those threats came in, and they were very credible threats. And Joey was like, it's not worth it. Like, we didn't want another Charlottesville on our hand. And even though all the speakers were African Americans, the crowd was going to come thinking that there were neo-Nazis and white supremacists there. I was really, really interested, you know, on what it would look like when the rioters and the protesters showed up and saw a bunch of black people on stage talking about Black Lives Matter, because that's what I was going to do. We was going to talk about black issues. So that would have been really interesting to me to see, like, just kind of deflate the air out of the room. Yeah, and absolutely, you know, I blame Ed Lee, I blame SF Gate, I blame SF Examiner, I blame, you know, every major news outlet that said it was a white nationalist, you know, Nazi rally. You know, someone said to me, "Is like, but he supports Trump." So it's going to be. I was like, well, so the fuck what? And that wasn't even the issue. Like, to the best of my knowledge, he had no intentions of saying anything about Trump on stage that day. I definitely wasn't going to, because I'm like, fuck Trump. I don't give a fuck about Trump. When people ask me, they ask me, like, who'd you vote for? Like, what do you believe in? And this and this and this. Like, I'll be really honest with people. Like, I don't think about Trump. Like, if you ask me if I'm a Trump supporter, I'll say no. But at the same time, like, I don't hate him either. Like, I got way, way more things to think about in my daily life. Like, I don't own a TV on purpose. Like, I personally don't choose to, like, own an idiot box, as Spike Lee would say. I'd rather read books and read the paper, and, get my information from, like, multiple sources and stuff. And, anytime I see a headline with Trump on it, and it's always something that's just so benign, like, Donald Trump frowned at the president of Zaire today. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about how he looked at somebody or if he winked his eye. I was like, oh, Donald Trump stared at the sun during the eclipse. I'm like, man, fuck him. That's not news. That's not news to me. That's hyperbole made for us to think, to be distracted. There's real shit going on right now. And every time I see a headline that's some bullshit about Trump, and when I mean bullshit, I mean real bullshit. Trump stared at the eclipse. Trump shook hands with someone a little bit too firmly. Trump looked at his wife's ass or something. I'm like, that doesn't mean when a major news organization, I remember a couple months ago, CNN did a 7-minute piece on if Donald Trump was afraid to walk downstairs. What the fuck that got to do with the price of tea in England? If you understand that phrase and what it really means, what the fuck that got to do with anything? You telling me y'all spent 7 minutes out of your precious, precious time on CNN to bring up the debate, is Donald Trump afraid to walk downstairs? I don't give a fuck. Tell me. I'd rather them show me a helicopter circling around while a firefighter saves a kitten out of a tree. That is far more interesting to me than like some benign ass shit about Donald Trump. And it's when they, so when Donald Trump says shit like fake news, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking fake news, man. Like, I don't mean, that's not helping anybody. Tell me about, what cases are in front of the Supreme Court today? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what they're ruling on this week? Or is there anything that's going on? I don't. I mean, I can look it up, but like off the top of my head, I don't, because that's not part of the news cycle. And it should be. Like, issues like that should be part of the news cycle. You should be telling me, what congressman or woman, voted for, any particular piece of legislation that's going to affect me. Tell me about, any upcoming telecoms bill. Is it going to, especially a telecoms bill? They got, net neutrality is a big thing right now, and they're either going to vote on it or they're not. That either will or won't raise my internet, fees $10, $20, $30. That affects all Americans because we're all on the internet. I don't give a fuck if that motherfucker can walk downstairs or not. You can put him in a goddamn wheelchair. I don't give a fuck. That's some dumb shit, and they shouldn't even be wasting our time with that. And when we focus on little bullshit issues like that, we get completely distracted, and then we get motherfuckers marching in the street, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, because like all the media is like, they're painting this picture of this dumbass buffoon who can't do anything. And maybe he can't, but he's still the motherfucker to do it. So you can make him look like a bumbling idiot all you want. That's great and fine, but like, I'm not going to entertain news agencies and organizations that spend their efforts on that. If you can't tell me what's really going on, you can't get my eyes, my viewing, and definitely not my advertising dollars. So, and I think that's real news. Hate Trump all you want, but like, y'all are, all of us are completely distracted and misguided on the real shit. But nobody wants to talk about that. Instead, we have congresswomen Nancy Pelosi and Barbara Lee and Ed Lee, doing this smoke screen, and they knew fucking damn well there weren't gonna be any Nazis. Fuck. I'm black. I'm black. All right. Born in Lawton, Oklahoma, raised in small town Greenville, Mississippi, surrounded by Confederate flags. I saw the actual Klan walk down the street of my house when my aunt came out with her pistol to protect me. I know fucking real Nazis and Klan. Well, first of all, on that subject, the Klan and Nazis and all that shit, they're fucking phantoms. They have no power whatsoever in the United States right now. None. They're not coming back. They're not on the rise. Their numbers are dwindling. They are as significant in this country as the entire coal mining industry. So when I see thousands of people march in the streets against racism, the Klan, Nazis, and bigotry and shit, you are fighting against phantoms. And what I mean by that is they exist, but they have no power. It's like punching a ghost. Like, if there's a ghost in front of you, and he's all spooky and transparent in the sheets, and it's scary for a moment when you look at it, until you start swinging on it, and it's not really there, and it can't touch you, it can't change. Yeah, it can scare you, it can spook you, but a ghost can't do shit to you. And that's what Nazis are. That's what the white supremacy is. That's what the so-called Klan is, and fucking Confederate holdouts. And it frustrates me that we spend so much time and effort into putting attention and eyeballs on these insignificant subjects that we can't see the real shit. And that's what happened to us too this weekend. That's what happened to everybody. They had probably some 10,000 people all around San Francisco, because the mayor put on multiple events, and probably some 10,000 people went out and partied in the streets, and against racism, bigotry, white supremacy, and fascism. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it feels good. You get to go out and wave your flag and say that you're against racists. And who isn't? Unless you're racist. But like, who isn't against those things? That's low-hanging fruit. That's really, really low-hanging fruit. Like, you could have just as many people show up to, like, I think people should be able to breathe oxygen. Yeah, they should. We could do a party for that. Do you believe in the rights of oxygen of all people? And you could still get 10,000 people to come out and party, drink, and fuck shit up. But the reality is nobody's taking our air away anytime soon. And the same way I feel about Nazis. Nazis ain't coming over here anytime soon. There's a few of them littled out. And if you spend too much time, paying attention to the internet, worried about what's going on the Reddits and stuff, you might think that there's a whole bunch of Nazis. See, I saw the shit in Charlottesville. Didn't pay it no mind. It was horrible imagery to see. The riots were horrible. My heart bleeds for the lady who lost her life. And the people that were injured during that. And I'm gonna say something that's not very popular. So hold that subscription, because I might piss you off, because everyone got mad at Trump when he said both sides. It is both sides. All right. Let me tell you something y'all probably don't know. Y'all saw the images of Charlottesville, right? Y'all saw so-called white supremacists and Nazis and their flags and shit, and they went and descended on the park and they had their little rally and stuff, and thousands of people came out to protest. All right, that's horrible looking, right? Media brought all their people out to showcase it. Did y'all know 2 months prior, the Klan had a rally in the exact same spot? Nobody showed up. 2 months prior to that, in Charlottesville, the Klan had another rally in that exact same spot, and nobody showed up. Why? And the police were there. They had defense and everything. And so what was the difference with this particular neo-Nazi Klan Confederate holdout rally as opposed to the one 2 months prior and the one 4 months prior? Why did we pay so much attention to this one? Was there so much of a uproar of people coming to show, what's the word I'm looking for? Opposition to it. I have a theory. It starts with a G and ends with an S. George Soros. But I don't want to go into George Soros too much. But this point I'm getting at is nobody gave a fuck about the Klan last month. We sure the fuck didn't give a Klan about 2 months ago, and we shouldn't give a fuck about the Klan right now. I believe if you hold a Nazi flag, you're un-American. If you hold a Confederate flag, you're a fucking stupid and a moron. Get over it. And there's a handful of those people out there that, and keep in mind, when my time in Oklahoma as a young adult, everybody had the Confederate flag. White people, black people, everybody flew the Confederate flag. So while you might not believe it in whatever little echo chamber you live in, to some people, definitely motherfuckers in the South, it really is about heritage. And they really, really, really are connected to their heritage. I had a conversation with somebody last night, and they were saying, oh, we need to tear down, they're talking about the tearing down of Robert E. Lee's statues and all the Confederate statues and stuff. And I said, here's a quote from Robert E. Lee. Quote, Robert E. Lee said, "I wish I could buy up all the slaves so I could set them free and end this war tomorrow." That is what Robert E. Lee said, that he wanted to free all the slaves. But how many of y'all think that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves? A lot of that's what we're told in the history books. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln didn't give a fuck about black people. Matter of fact, Abraham Lincoln pretty much hated black people. And the freeing of the slaves had nothing to do with his moral compass. He did it to piss off the South. It was for economic reasons. That is the motherfucking truth. Here's some advice. Don't learn too much about your heroes. It'll piss you off. But I digress. Lived in Tennessee, Georgia. Everyone ruled in the neighborhood. Yeah. That is true, Satter. But I've been talking about Antifa for 9 months now. 8 months now. 8 months. I've been pissed off about Antifa. Begging people to pay attention. Yeah, so don't put too much stock in your heroes. That's all I'm saying. But back to the story. So Joey cancels the rally. And of course the internet blows up. And they're saying like, oh, he should have to pay for the security. And then of course he said he was going to do the press conference in Alamo Square. And they're like, oh, he's moving from a secure location to another location just so there can be a riot. He wants violence. And I talked to the guy personally. And I don't bullshit people. Like, if you can tell by my voice and the things I say to you, I don't bullshit nobody. I call it like I see it. If somebody's being dishonest to me, I'm going to tell it on the mountain that somebody's being dishonest. If somebody's a dick or an asshole, I'll tell you straight up. And I have no allegiance to anybody. Nobody, except my mama. My mama could murder somebody in broad daylight, and I'm like, I didn't see a damn thing. I didn't see nothing. So what I'm telling you, I have no allegiance to Joey Gibson. I think he's a nice guy, but like, he's not my super buddy or anything. So what I'm telling you is just my observation. And I really, 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 really believe that Joey Gibson had only the best intentions of putting this rally on. Joey Gibson had no interest at all in causing drama, a riot, or seeing anybody get hurt. And that is why he canceled the event. He was genuinely concerned that somebody would get hurt. In his defense, Joey Gibson has put on rallies in Portland, in Seattle. I think he was in Boston, but he didn't organize that. The point is, he's been at smaller events. He said to me that he thought that there would be maybe 300 people in the crowd viewing the rally and maybe about 500 protesters. That is what the levity of what he thought was going to happen. Instead, we had some 10,000 people marching in the street. Oh yeah, the communist revolution got kicked up a notch. So Joey Gibson underestimated the response of San Francisco, and it also didn't, and again, it didn't help that Mayor Ed Lee and Nancy Pelosi spent a considerable amount of time continually telling people that neo-Nazis were coming to San Francisco. And both of he and I and the crew went out of our way to quell that narrative. I got on the radio with multiple organizations. I reached out to the media. I reached out to Barbara Lee's office and talked with her representatives, and we gave her an open platform to come and speak at the rally, because I thought it was extremely important that a strong, dignified congresswoman, especially a woman of color here in the Bay Area, have access to an audience, to have a voice, and who better than Representative Barbara Lee. And that request was, they were very interested, and then later that request was denied. They turned it down. So I believe that Ed Lee and Nancy Pelosi used the city of San Francisco as a defensive arm, because when election comes up again, they're going to bring it up like, look, we kept the Nazis out of San Francisco. Rather than talking about homelessness, the downtrodden, how big corporations aren't paying their fair share in taxes, how there's no housing left, how big developers are able to come in, knock down cheap, affordable housing, and put in expensive high-rises that only the elite can use, and that is done under the jurisdiction and under the watch of Mayor Ed Lee. Those are real issues that need to be discussed, and nobody wants to do it. Yeah, and again, I'll say it again, he's got us out there fighting phantoms. Here come the Nazis. Oh, the Nazis coming to get you. Bullshit. Why don't motherfuckers, y'all need to wake the fuck up? Oh, boy. Oh, it's so it makes me angry. And I had the opportunity to address those very issues, and it didn't turn out that way. And that makes me mad, because we would have had every news organization you can think of, CNN, USA Today, Fox News, the fucking Daily Planet, in Metropolis, everybody was out here to watch that rally. And as far as I go, what I had written was some real shit. And it upsets me that I didn't get that chance. But yeah, we, Joey Gibson, like I said, was really, really concerned that somebody would get hurt. And not just kind of hurt, like we really felt we would see somebody die if that rally took place. Because we saw what happened in Berkeley today. Berkeley, some 4,000 Antifa members, well, some 4,000 protesters, but definitely at least 800 to 900 masked Antifa members were in Berkeley today. I was there, so I could see the crowds. There was at least 1,000 of them, not including just the regular protesters. And they was, man, it was like piranhas on meat in the lake. They would single somebody. I was there. They would single somebody out, and just like a mob of them would come and beat the fuck out of somebody, kick them on, and they'd move on into the next person. And like if you weren't in a group of 3 or 4, they would snatch your ass up and stomp you in the ground. That is what I saw today with my own eyes in Berkeley. And the cops were helpless. And I'm not going to blame the cops. I know a lot of people are going to say that the cops stood down. The cops were ordered to sit down. I have a contact inside of Berkeley PD right now. Funny thing, He asked me yesterday, are you guys planning on coming to Berkeley? And I said, I think they're going to come. He goes, what can I do to make things easier for you? And I said, the main thing I want is if somebody's got a mask, you got to snatch him up. And he goes, I will do that for you. My contact inside the Berkeley PD said, we'll do that. If somebody's got a mask, we'll snatch them up. And they did. They did. I was there, and they were snatching people up with masks. And then it got out of control. And it got way out of control, and it happened fast. They all met in another park nearby, gathered up a big-ass force, and then they came over, and the cops had a barricade around the plaza, and then they came on, just rushed through the barricade and threw it down and just started fighting. So cops did what they could. So the guy that I got into it with yesterday at Crissy Field, the guy with the sirens, he tried to come up on me and swing on me, and Berkeley PD snatched his ass up real quick. So I'm actually going to press charges against him. I've had a ringing. In fact, just right now, I'm hearing the ringing in my ears. So he got this close to me with 2 megaphones and put him on siren mode. And he kept harassing me in Crissy Field. And I kept trying to get away from him. He kept harassing me. And I was like, and I told people on my stream, I was like, if I see that motherfucker tomorrow, them megaphones are mine. And people kept saying oh, beat his ass, beat his ass. I was like, no. I'll see him tomorrow. And when I see him, those are now my megaphones. And as soon as I got to Berkeley, he found me, and he came up on me with double-handed megaphones. And he ran up on me, and I put my stream up. Wait, hold on. I got the video right here. Hold on. Where's the video? How does this work? Nope, that's not what I want to do.
Alright, so the ugliness has really started.
Nope, that's not what I want to do. Lock that.
Did you guys see where my man went?
No,
Okay, it's all weird. It's all bad.
I don't know that.
Let me see. Oh, here he is. There he is. So right then is where I'm thinking oh, I promised him I'm taking those megaphones. That's what I'm saying. I'm about to whoop this nigga's ass. And he's following me because he thinks I'm a Nazi. Sorry, the quality's really bad, but I moved away for a second. I was about to rush up on him.
Yes, sir.
And then, where is it?
Get him! Get him! Get that!
And they turn around and the cops jump on him. Yeah, he tried to rush up on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cops got that ass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cops got that ass. So, he's in custody, obviously. I'm gonna press charges. And I'm going to press charges because that is assault. He singled me out. I have a video from yesterday where he singles me out. Yeah, they're still ringing. I hear the ringing right now, as we speak. I can hear the buzz. So early in the morning, I'm gonna call Berkeley PD and ask them, who is this person you have in custody? I'm willing to testify, because he needs to be held responsible. Oh yeah, the guy right after he got arrested, they were like, "Why they?" Because he had him. No, he goes, he got arrested, and the guy was like, "Where's the lawyers at? Where's the lawyers?" I'm like, I don't know. There's no lawyers. He goes, "No, that guy needs a lawyer." And I said, "Well, yeah, he has the right to counsel." He goes, "Why are they arresting him? Because because the megaphones? Because he's impersonating a police officer?" I'm like, "No, because he has a mask on. A mask is legal in Berkeley." He's some dumbass. He's like, "A mask is legal in Berkeley." I was like, "No, they got him for disturbing the peace. I'm pretty sure." Who's texting me? I'm jumping all over the place with this story. I need to get back on track with the story, guys. Yes, Vince. Streaming. Okay, so that's Vince getting at me of red elephants. So back to the story. We canceled the rally. Credible threats. Very, 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 very credible. Multiple credible threats. So Joey was going to do a very, very short press conference at Alamo Park. The mayor's, Scott Wiener said that was illegal and that he would be arrested if he do a press conference at Alamo Park. And we were like, wait, you're going to arrest us for talking to the media at a public park? Let's see you hold that motherfucker up. So the day of, like at 6 a.m., they put fencing all around Alamo Park and shut it down for the day. And it's like, wow, that's some petty ass shit. So Joey was like, do you know anywhere indoors that I can do a press conference? I got on the phone with Cron 4, with CBS 5, with KPIX, with Fox 2, KGO, anybody, every news organization I could think of, like I got on the phone with. I'm like, yo, can we get an indoor location so we can hold a press conference? And they were like, nope, we can't. Ultimately, we decided on Fairmont Park in Pacifica. We felt that was far away, so we had our press conference there. So for anyone who says that we did it just so we could like attract people to violence, then we would have just picked a spot. You know, if I'm not mistaken, San Francisco is the only major metropolitan city in the world where there is a park within 10 minutes walking of every single citizen in the city. So we could have picked any park and told the media, yo, we're at Pier 39. And we would have attracted, protesters and shit. But like, no, Joey was like, no, let's get the fuck as far away as possible. We'll do the press conference and we leave. And so we did the press conference. You guys can find the videos on the internet. I'm prominent in those videos. But again, so I told you, like, I won't bullshit about him. When people on the internet were saying, like, oh, he wants the attention, he wants the drama, Joey really didn't want to be there any longer than necessary. It was very clear. I don't want you to take my words wrong. And if Joey sees this, like, I don't want you guys to misconstrue what I'm about to say. But I'll say that he was legitimately concerned for the safety of everyone in the park. And he felt that being there any longer than necessary would give counter-protesters, Antifa, and the like time to find out where we were, because we were streaming live with every news organization. So for anyone says that he wanted to like drag on and have attention and have it be a big thing, like, I was there and I spoke to him and he did not want to be there any longer than necessary. And multiple times he's like, yo, we need to wrap this up. We need to go. He was conflicted. So I was with Joey last night. We watched the fight. Sat back, had some beers and some drinks and stuff. He was saying he wasn't going to go up until like right after the fight was over. He was like, yeah, maybe I'll go. I'm not sure. And he was leaning yes, but he had not confirmed that he was going to go by the time I left the party that we had when we watched the fight. I kind of knew he was going to go, but then again, like, nobody expected 4,000 people to show up. Nobody expected Antifa to show up 1,000 strong and to beat the shit out of people. We've met them before. We've swung on Antifa before, and it's never been a problem. They'll show up 100, 200, even 500 strong, and Battle of Berkeley 3, like, even 500 of them showed up, and we sent their asses packing. So I was not concerned about any number of Antifa until like they got vicious, and very bold, you know. But hey, that's what their group does. Don't know where Jovi's at. Still do not know where Jovi's at. What link? Check what link. Did you DM me something on Twitter? Wait, why am I not seeing something on Twitter? Wait, why am I not seeing something on Twitter? Wait, let me test this. Okay, just making sure my YouTube people are still coming through. Okay, so yeah, DM me whatever link you want to show me, and I'll look at it. So I talked to KQED's reporter at the press conference, and he was very the questions he said that they're neutral, but the type of questions that he was asking, he kept focusing on, oh, you say you're not involved with any form of Nazis or white supremacy, but why were you standing next to this guy 3 weeks ago? Or like just very, very like pokey questions, like, you say you're not a white nationalist, but here you are standing next to somebody. And I kept looking, I'm like, dude, that's not even what this is about. Like, why do you keep bringing up this bullshit? So, and he was with KQED. He and I had an interview afterwards, and I told him I thought some of his questions were unfair, or, you know, kind of distracting. And he said, no, we're non-biased. I'm with KQED. We're pretty much the same as NPR. And I was like, all right, you know, if you say that, but you know, that's what he says. Okay, so then this morning, let's skip ahead. So forgot. So we left the press conference, and then Joey decided to go back to Crissy Field. Because just symbolically, we wanted to be there. We wanted to say that we were there, and because there were other supporters there, and they promised that they would stay there the entire duration that the rally was supposed to take place. So we, out of solidarity, we decided to go to Crissy Field and be with them. So we go to Crissy Field, and there we are. And there are about 100 police and federal officers there. And they're very cool. And that's when I met the head guy from Washington, who set up the organization of the Super Bowl and the inauguration rally. And he was super cool, but also no bullshit. And he was like, yo, here's the deal. We can kick you guys out if you guys, since you don't have a permit right now, anything more than a group of 25 people requires a permit. He goes, I don't want to be a dick right now, but I'm just telling you, you have counter protesters over there, and you guys are over here. If anything happens to get cross-eyed, we're shutting this shit down, and I got about 50 riot officers behind me. You know, I'm like, all right, that's cool. My question is, what the hell is wrong with people? Why can't people just shut up and get along? Yeah, it's a very good question. Need this crap to validate their lies, and by this crap I mean marching in the street and making a bunch of noise. There's two sides of that coin. I believe that, you know, if you don't use your rights, you lose them. And it's easy to condemn marching in the streets and causing a spectacle, you know, or putting on an event that you know is going to incite someone to protest against you. I get it. But at the same time, what if I wanted to protest corruption at City Hall? What if I wanted to protest a food manufacturer that's putting out tainted meat? I should have the ability to do that. And our laws and our rights, our constitutional rights, give us the ability to do so. So while I may not agree with rioting, well, no one agrees with rioting in the streets, but I may not agree with the speech that somebody has or the permit that they fill out so they can go to a public park and have that speech. But we need that right, because it's easy to say, I disagree with this because this is distracting or this is disruptive, this causes conflict and riots. It's so easy to be against that. But as the quote goes, first they came for the trade workers, and I wasn't a trade worker. You know, if you silence one organization and say that it's not okay for you guys to assemble, then it's surely only a matter of time before they come for you. And you never, exercising your rights is less about you, it's about the next person that might want to. While you might actively right now might not have anything you want to protest for, the day might come. The day might come where you want to go up on City Hall, or you might want to have a permit to bring attention to something. I saw a protest a couple years ago. They had a permit and everything, and they were protesting against, it wasn't United Airlines, but it was some airline, and they were using, they were dumping their waste in like the water supply of like some Aboriginal people in like Alaska, and like the airline was like the number, and they filed a permit, to do a protest. I'm like, okay, great, yeah. What do you mean my argument doesn't hold water? How? How does it not hold water? That exercising your rights protects your rights. The future doesn't contain racism, it contains female leaders of color. Of course it does. Of course there's female leaders of color in the future. Bad troll is bad. You bad troll. Go away, bad troll. You troll. Troll. So, Joey, myself, a few other people, we go back to Chrissy Field. Everything's fine and peaceful. I was telling people, and there was already some members of Antifa there. Some fat ass motherfuckers wearing 200 plus pounds and 5'3", holding signs and masks and shit. Fuck them. But then all of a sudden, this one guy, he got chased out of Berkeley today, by the way. So, some of them, like, as a person who's not a Trump supporter, but also I just don't think too much. I'm such a low-key dude. Like, there's very little that I get passionate about, So, and some of these guys, like, they're caricatures of themselves. I'll be just real about it. Like, some people on the right, part of the whole MAGA movement, are they're cosplaying, and they're caricatures of themselves. Like, some of them show up with, like, capes, Trump capes and flags. You identify them easily because they wear the same thing every time. And, I understand, like, if you're into it, that's great and all, but, like, there needs to be, like, some level of moderation, I think, and I believe if you come into a place and there's going to be, like, opposition and you standing by yourself, like, well, you might get popped in the face 1 or 2 times. What are you referring to? He isn't speaking to all of us in this Periscope. No, I'm definitely speaking to you guys. Bigger audience than that, Park. How can you say that? How can you say that no one's coming for his free speech when some 4,000 people showed up and tried to kick the shit out of him today? That argument doesn't hold water for you to say that nobody's coming for his free speech. I watched the videos. And matter of fact, I didn't watch the videos. I was there. Because you're so keen to us safely on the... I don't know what you mean. Speaking. Yes, I'm speaking to you. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I'm being on. Oh, yes, I'm speaking freely. Yeah. I don't understand your point. No, I'm not getting beat up. I'm in the comfort of my own home. People tried to beat me up. Just last month in Berkeley, I almost got into a fight with the guy who called me a Nazi. And an Uncle Tom. A light-skinned black dude called me an Uncle Tom and Nazi. Yes, if I go to the park, people might beat me up. So, wait, so you're... Oh, troll, bye. Bye. No point. No point in talking to you. You just proved the point of why people should have a rally. The very fact that you said that that it's pointless, and that if I went to the park that I might get beat up, is the very reason why people should have rallies. Well, I wasn't the organizer of that rally, but tell you what the point was? Well, talk to Joey. I'm not here to justify the rally right this second. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Yeah, I can justify the rally. I can very much justify the rally. The rally was a bunch of people of color, mostly black people, who wanted to talk about black issues. That was the point of the rally. If you're telling me black people don't have a voice and shouldn't have a voice and should shut the fuck up, then fuck you. Okay? Are you telling black people can't have a voice? If you're saying right now that black people can't have a voice and talk about Black Lives Matter and talk about trans lives and talk about homelessness issues in the city, then fuck you. Because that's what I came to talk about. That was the message. That you can't see it in detail, but this was my speech that I'm scrolling through right now. That had a lot to do about Black Lives Matter, had a lot to do about trans lives, had a lot to do about the criminalization of sex workers in San Francisco, had a lot to do with rising home and housing costs, and how foreign interests come up and buy up all the land and don't have to pay their fair share in taxes, and people like Mayor Ed Lee let that shit happen. That was part of the message. If you're saying that that is pointless and useless and I shouldn't have the right to come up and talk to people about it, real issues, then fuck you. The city spent weeks telling everybody that white nationalists and Nazis were coming, and all of us were black folk. So why didn't the city want to give us a permit? Talk to Ed Lee. Talk to Nancy Pelosi, talk to Barbara Lee in 13th District over in Alameda County, and figure the fuck that shit out. I don't know. I am standing before you right now. Dark-skinned black man. I look kind of light because I got these big-ass lights in front of me and stuff. But I'm standing in front of you right now as a black man born in Oklahoma, raised in Greenville, Mississippi. And I had some issues to talk about, real shit. That, yes, Black Lives Matter. That, yes, homelessness is a serious issue in San Francisco. That, yes, we are misappropriating our funds and not allocating resources to real shit. And we keep blaming the federal government for our problems, even though California has the 6th largest economy in the entire world. We shouldn't have to ask the federal government for one red nickel. Is the term red dime, red nickel, red cent? I don't know. But we shouldn't have to ask the federal government for a motherfucking thing because we're the ones with all the money. And if we can't fix our own problems, something's wrong. And when you have a Democratic mayor, a Democratic congresswoman, a Democratic governor, and none of them, and these issues have been going on for a long time, long before Trump was in office, and our leaders keep blaming Trump. And I'm not a Trump supporter, but I don't give a fuck about Trump. You know, when I see homeless people in the street in San Francisco, I don't sit there and be like, oh, that's sad. That's sad. I wish they had. No, I want to know who's responsible. Who's responsible for the blight and issues in San Francisco? And you can point directly to the mayor's office because he is not doing his shit. He keeps bending over backwards for special interests. He keeps giving huge tax breaks and incentives for Google, Facebook, you know, and these huge Salesforce so they can build these huge monolith, titan of towers, and then give them enormous tax breaks and give them enormous breaks on employee tax. But then they bring in employees from overseas. The bulk of their employees are HB1 visas. So you want to know why there's homelessness in San Francisco? It's because we're not even allocating our resources properly. Why would neo-Nazis want to come to your rally about this? One of my favorite quotes from iRobot with Will Smith and Shia LaBeouf is when he's talking to the hologram, when Will Smith's talking to the hologram of his old teacher and stuff, and he goes, "That is the right question." So yes, why would neo-Nazis want to come to a rally about this? That is the right question. Why did Ed Lee and Nancy Pelosi spend weeks issuing statements, having press conferences at City Hall, and writing articles that got published in major mainstream papers that white nationalists and neo-Nazis were putting on a rally in San Francisco? That's the right question. There we go. 6-9 actual. The purpose of holding this rally is to speak directly to the community itself without imposition from the government. They want to figure out what's going on at the local level, work it out, and from within, instead of turning to the government again. Yeah. Look at my DMs. I'll look at my DMs. It's going down in the DMs. It's going down in the DMs. Hey, hey, hey. It's going down in the DMs. Going down. Oh, I remember Violet Blue. She's a pretty lady. Sorry that page doesn't exist. Oh, you sent me something that doesn't exist. Why am I not getting this? Did she delete it? Or did you kick out a number or something? Is it this one, the SF Gate one? Chatter? Violence at Berkeley Rally escalates. Please make arrest. Yeah, I was there when they were making arrests. That's when they spayed Joey with air mace. Yeah, I don't care where you sit on the political spectrum. You spare a guy with bear mace who's sitting there with his hands up and he's not swinging on you. You're a bitch. You're a bitch and a coward. I wish the motherfucker would come up on with me with some shit like that. One-on-one. It'll never happen because I'll fold your ass in half. I definitely haven't been blocked by Violet Blue. Can't hear you over YouTube volume. Hold on. Maybe that's why my numbers on YouTube are very low. No, it should be the same feed. My volume's up. Hold on, let me check. Let me check it out. Alright, you guys might hear an echo, so. Violet Blue has a verified account now? When did that happen? Verified account now? Nope, I hear myself fine on YouTube. Verified account now? Nope, I hear myself fine on YouTube. Okay, here comes the echo. Alright, that's probably you. Alright, where was I? Okay, so we go to Crystal. I saw that guy talking in front of the reporters yesterday. I don't want to say good job. Thank you guys. She got kicked off Facebook? Dude, man, there's a lot of shit going on right now, man. YouTube is like deleting people's videos. Like, just because they're conservative, they're not even saying anything like remotely racist or anything like that. Kicked her off for a fake name. It was a Let me check the DM again. Going down in the DMs. Okay, there we go. Postcards from San Francisco. Nazis not welcome in San Francisco. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what they did. They went out of their way to tell everybody that Nazis were coming to San Francisco. I guess I'm a Nazi. So if you want to know why some 4,000 plus people fucked up Berkeley and trashed around shit in San Francisco, that's why. Because this is the campaign of misinformation that they put out there. And I'm hurt. Like, I'm legitimately hurt. Like, I had real shit to talk about. And because some whiny ass little kids had their feelings hurt and shit, I don't know what the fuck. Like, they took my ability to speak away. Yes, we kicked the Nazis' ass back in the 40s. That's right. They're not Nazis. That is the message that needs to get out. Like, they're not even Nazis. Nothing even remotely close to Nazis. Yeah. Good question. What universe does San Francisco have a Nazi problem? I could probably fly over this world 2 times and couldn't find a Nazi. That's it. You tell that lie long enough, and one of the questions that you have to ask is, whose agenda benefited from this? Soros was a Nazi. This was somebody's agenda to silence somebody. And you okay, buddy? Yeah. Do you want my hand? Oh, no. You kitty goopy eye. Sorry, my cat's like right here. It's my cat. From here to here. Show you? Alright. This is one of my cats. He sleeps like this. Can you look in the camera? Do you like looking at it? Mm-hmm. Alright, go back down. Here. Here you go. No, you can stay there. Yeah, that's true. Like, you're right, there hasn't been an open neo-Nazi here in well over a decade. So, if you were here at the beginning of my stream, I was saying like, yo, this whole thing about Nazis and KKK and racists, it's phantoms. It's the same as fighting ghosts. Like, they're scary when you first see them, but they can't hurt you, and they don't do anything, and they just move on through you. It's fucking phantoms. Okay, so I'll get back to a bit of my story. So we came to Chrissy Field. After being there for like 30 minutes, like a shit ton of more Antifa came, because everyone got the word that that's where we were. Then the agitators started coming, and that's when like Siren Guy came up, and Siren Guy didn't know who I was. It was clear he didn't know, because he came at me and started to like put the megaphone like at me, and I ignored him, and then he seemed confused, like, well, this isn't, upsetting this guy, so he went on to do something else, and then I think somebody told him like who I was, so then he came back to me, but then he left again, but then he got like here, like right here, and I was looking at one of the police officers, or one of the federal officers, and I glanced over at him like, I'm about to knock this motherfucker out. Like, if y'all don't come over here and put hands on him, I'm about to put hands on him. And I started to get up, and then they shot in, and they were like, yo, back up. And he had a mask on, and he went to the other side of the park, but he kept, doing a thing. And at 5 o'clock, Joey left, because that was the symbolic thing that we wanted to do, was be there until 5, which was the time that the rally was supposed to take place. We left. More Antifa members showed up. They started harassing the cops. I think one of them got arrested. I have that on my Periscope stream. Then they brought out the riot police with the big ass shields. But eventually, and then they left and went, like, Antifa like gathered up, and they went closer to the water, but it was already like low tide. It was hella cold, and then like they just kind of like lost all the fight. So I left from there. I went and hung out with Joey. We watched the Mayweather fight. And then Joey didn't know if he was going to go to Berkeley or not. Then I found out he was there, so then I went. And so I wasn't at Berkeley. So then I was at Berkeley today. And like I saw some savagery. And they spotted me out of the crowd pretty early. As soon as I turned on my stream, some old lady came up on me. She's like, I know who you are. I know who you are. I said, who am I? She's like, you're a fascist. I'm a fascist. Old lady called me a fascist. So, and then I got into it, then Siren Dude ran up on me. So he gets arrested. There were some other members that kept coming up like really, really close to me and taking photos of me, and I just smiled for them. I don't know if they want to dox me. You can't dox me, dude. I'm the easiest person on the planet to find. So, like, we're gonna dox you. I'm like, dox me? Thank you. I'll get some more Twitter followers. Oh yeah, they definitely look like ISIS. Oh no, they called me Nazi. No, I heard it. I've definitely been called Nazi before. Black Nazi. And see, that's, their arguments have no weight, when you call a black dude a Nazi. They have no weight whatsoever. But then again, like, these aren't people, known for intelligent discussion. They none of them want to talk. All of them virtue signal over the same ass dumb bullshit. They're not here to debate. They're not here to talk about things. They just want to smash faces. And if they try to debate and you embarrass them, then they just want to smash you up. But I'm black. How could I be a Nazi? Exactly. I highly doubt they're in school. Yeah, so apparently I'm a black Nazi. So here's where things, and I've been running this in my head like all day, and every time I start talking about it, I start getting emotional. And I actually started crying on my stream earlier like a bitch. I was crying like a bitch. So if I start crying again, don't throw it against me. But so myself, a man they call Black Rebel, and he's from Oklahoma, near where I live, and his friend also from Oklahoma. They flew out just to come out. So things started getting really heated. You know, I saw a couple journalists, you know, and I'm not, when I say beat up, like, I don't mean they just pushed them around and stuff. They were stomping motherfuckers out today. Like, throwing them on the ground, and like 10 people would surround them, and they were stomping people. And, you know, I was like, yo, like, as much as I want to get footage of this shit, we need to go. Like, everyone's distracted, you know, on this shit and that shit, and we got to get the fuck out of here. And they kept delaying it and kept delaying it. Like, oh, no, wait. Let me get this. I'm like, yo, like, I don't want these motherfuckers, like, noticing me and, like, all of a sudden, like, now I got to fight, like, 50 people. Like, I ain't down with that. Not that I can't, but, like, I chose to come in light. I didn't bring no sticks, no weapons. Like, I didn't anticipate what it was. Like, if I had my 3-section staff, I'd have jumped in the middle. Happily would have jumped in the middle. As a fighter, you know who's about that life and who's not. You tag a guy one good time with a rattan stick, that's the end of him. As a dude who's been hit hundreds of times by dudes twice my size, full-on strike with rattan sticks, I know what it feels like, and I know when you hit a dude who's not used to it, that is the end of him. He don't want no more. But I digress. Things got really hairy, and more people started to, like, congregate around me, and they were, like, taking photos and stuff. And your stick, did you give me sticks? You did give me sticks. The 2 sticks that I'm using are the ones that Gintz gave me, though. You gave me smaller... Yes, I do still have those sticks. I've never gotten rid of any of my sticks. You gave me the smaller 30-inch ones, I believe. The thinner... The half-inch ones? I'm not sure, but they're in my trunk right now. I keep my 2... I keep 2 training sticks, 2 fighting sticks. I keep my boken and my 3-sectional staff in my trunk. So I'm ready to go at any time. But I'm getting older. Dear people of America, I took an oath to defend this country and all enemies, foreign and domestic. Not be surprised if we mobilize against you. Become an enemy, you have been warned. Absolutely. It could be. So, hold on, the cat's trying to leave the door. So, I'm telling Black Rebel it's time to go. More people keep coming up and, like, posting up around me. And not close, but just out of frame, out of distance. One thing I've learned from fighting with Dog Brothers down in Southern California is to be, just be aware of your surroundings. And I was seeing things that I know other people couldn't see. So I knew the heat was coming. And then all of a sudden, like, when I was absolutely certain, like, yeah, they're about to come up with rush on me. Like, I was so certain, like, yo, I'm about to get rushed. One of the cops threw, like, a flashbang or a tear gas, and it changed everyone's, like, direction and attention. And I grabbed Rebel and his friend. I was like, yo, we need to move. We need to go around, at least go around the block. So we go around the block, and we dip out. And we get about 2 blocks away, and we stop for a second. And there's this elderly couple, and they're selling these magazines. And I bought one. And it's the Militant. Why is this transparent? This shouldn't be transparent. Oh, because it's green. That's why you can't see it. Yes, the Militant. This paper. SPW protest Righteous acts, killing in Virginia. Righteous acts. You know. Anyway, I might read it. I might not. I don't know. So we're having a conversation, and then this guy comes up, and he's a big dude, and he comes over very, very, very friendly, and I already know, like, they sent you over here to distract us. Yes, it was $1. So they came over, and this guy comes over. He's a big guy, but he's been very friendly, and I think he asked them, you know, what are you guys here for? What do you believe in? What do you think about Trump? And Rebel's a black cowboy with a 10-gallon hat, you know, and some Wrangler jeans, you know, and a cowboy shirt, you know, with the medallion, with the tassels and shit. The real cowboy. And I knew what those questions were. Like, I knew they were to distract and delay. So, as Shatter, as you said about situational awareness, I'm like, yo, this is bad. Like, because we can't just run, because then that's, you know, kind of like if the mouse runs from the cat, then the cat just pounces on the mouse, you know. But waiting there, oh yeah, they were doing recon, but waiting there any longer was putting us at risk. And I'm looking down the street, and we're at the corner, at the southeast corner of this intersection there. So I have full vantage of everything south of me, and I have full vantage of everything east of me, back where the riots are taking place. Also, if you guys are aware what riots are like, the people in green, you'll see people in green hats. They are, how would I describe them? They will tell everybody they're neutral, but they are there to gather information for Antifa. So if you see a lot of people in green hats or green shirts, they say that they're neutral, but they're the information in. They track where people are going, and they send that information to the higher ups, and then that's kind of how Antifa like does their attacks and shit. So to my east, I see masks and I see green hats a block or so down. To my south, I see masks coming, and I'm like, all right, we're here by ourselves, and it's in my head, like, my car is 2 blocks away, and I'm like, okay, well, I got my weapons there, but I don't want them to know what I drive. And they're kind of posted at the ends of the blocks, and then they start coming in. And I'm telling Rebel, I hadn't told him exactly what's happening, but I was like, oh, we need to go. And my plan was, well, we'll just walk down 3 blocks, make a turn, run a block, come back up, you know, and maybe we might get him. Or, you know, avoid everything. But they were coming a bit faster than I'd liked. And I was like, we're fucked. We are so fucked. I'm going to have to whoop some ass. And right at that moment, the fucking Oath Keepers like ran up in like 3 big ass black SUVs, like the goddamn military, and snatched us up and got us the fuck out of there. And, you know, Shatter, you saw my tweets. Like, I got into it. Someone was asking me about the Oath Keepers, that they were scheduled to do security for the San Francisco rally. And they were saying, like, oh, these guys are a bunch of crazy wackos. They're going to bring guns and all this. Like, and I've always said, and I've met Oath Keepers before, like, those dudes are professional. They might have far right-leaning politics and opinions and shit. But, like, the Oath Keepers that I've run into, like, they are professional as fuck. And they put their... God. Get him out. I'm not used to people being nice to me. I'm like a lot of shitty people in my life. And shitty friends, shitty girlfriends, just shitty folk. People calling me a nigger on Twitter and shit. Like all that, you know, people calling me a Nazi and a house Negro and Uncle Tom and a coon and shit. So I'm not used to people being nice to me. And they put their people on the line to get me out of that. I'm sorry. So, I'm just really thankful. Sorry, I can't talk right now. It's really, really appreciative and thankful that somebody took time, and effort, for me and us, and they had no agenda. Like, they really just wanted to keep people safe. I don't know why it affects me like this. I don't know why that in particular affects me like that. And I think I can only attribute it to, because every time I think about it, I start crying again. And I can only attribute to it, just so many people so shitty to me. And I kind of don't really, have any close friends, and I'm just, I kind of operate in a little echo chamber where it's just me. I do my own thing, and I don't bother anybody, and nobody bothers me, and I really feel like this independent solo act. And I'll be honest, deep down, I don't think anybody gives a fuck about me, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that idea and that notion, so I put on the hard skin, and I put on the armor, and, I go through life, sometimes with a chip on my shoulder, and sometimes I'm just fuck it, I'm just gonna do me, and, and whatever it be, it'll be. But, Oath Keepers came through for me today, and it means a lot. So, I don't give a fuck, I've seen the headlines, and I see what people write about them, that, like everyone else, they call them Nazis and other dumb shit, but I don't know if you care, Shatter, but, they came through for me, so I got nothing bad to say about those people. They're good folk. And I'm also just sad, I don't understand why I gotta be like this. People are just so stupid. And, in my opinion, I think we saw free speech die today. I thought Milo's event was really bad. Or the G20 riots were pretty bad, but today's event was a rally put on by a trans woman. Yesterday's event was a rally put on by a bunch of black people, and these skinny ass bootleg Kmart ninjas still came out and called everybody Nazis and fascists and convinced everybody of the same shit. And if I can't speak, then nobody can speak. So that's it. That's the end of anybody having free speech in the state of California, or at least in the Northern Bay Area. That's the end of it. Sorry, I'm getting all emotional again. I promised myself I wouldn't start crying on stream. God damn it, y'all. Twice today y'all got me crying on stream. Fuck y'all. I know that. I know that the mob is following sound bites. Because they're dumb, stupid, and uninformed. But even that's a problem in and of itself. That, if we can't get people to, do your own damn research. Like, I don't live through sound bites. I hate sound bites. If you give me a controversial 3-second clip of some shit that somebody said, that makes me want to find out even more what the full context is, because I don't buy it. I don't buy that. It's like showing me a painting knowing damn well that you're only showing me a fourth of it. I know you painted more. Why you crop that shit off? My black privilege, I guess. Oh yeah, I know what the head of the mob is. It's Yvette Forlarka. Yvette Forlarka, who calls herself the national organizer of the something and then defense action anti-fascist group, and by any means necessary, or otherwise known as BAM. I don't know. She's got like this whole spill that she puts out. She put on the press conference in front of City Hall the other day. So, all right, I'm done crying. I'm okay. Yes, no, she's extremely disgusting. But here's something. I want you guys to ask yourself this question. Yvette Forlarka has been suspended. So she's a school teacher, a middle school teacher in the city of Berkeley. She has been suspended multiple times. She's been arrested. She's been seen on video assaulting people. And the school district, superintendent, or the board refuses to fire her. If you can, once again, that's the right question. If you can find out an answer to that quandary, then you'll figure out why BAM and Antifa gets to run rampant in the city of Berkeley. Figure that one out. Figure out why a woman, she's been suspended multiple times, recently arrested, has charges against her. It's on film beating people up. Shows up to all the rallies. And she has children as young as 15, like holding her signs and stuff. So if we can figure out that one. Yes, the mayor is a BAM member. So is she the head, or is the mayor the head? When's that mayor up for re-election? Who's running against him? So there's the questions we need to ask. There's the questions we need to ask. Or better yet, if you really, really want to see an end to Yvette Forlarka's reign, find out who's part of the mayoral race for the next cycle. Get behind and donate and support that candidate. And I mean support that candidate. Make flyers, if he ain't got no money, drive him around, support, volunteer your time, because Yvette is producing the next level and the next generation of Antifa members. All right, I think I've been talking long enough. Do you guys have any questions? I think I kind of explained what happened today for the most part. There's a riot tomorrow? There's a riot tomorrow? First I heard of it. Check my links. Oh yeah, that's the magazine, The Militant. Yeah, that's what I have here. I want to know where people are stupid. Alright guys, I'm gonna go. The counter one? What the hell? Actual Riley and Berkeley supposed to be? So Amber Cummings was the organizer for the rally in Berkeley. I don't know her. I'll be honest, like I had no interest in going to it. Like, she labeled it as a no Marxism rally. She didn't properly fill out the paperwork for the permit, and ultimately the permit got denied, and then she said she was canceling it. Apparently she still showed up, but you know, she's a body positive trans woman. Link about patches and insignias. Wait, which link is that? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there we go. Oh. Oh, this is interesting. I'll dig into this later. Kanye playing Antifa rally tomorrow? The big X on white. I mean, I know about Proud Boys and Identity Europa. Detroit Right Wings, I think I just heard about them the other day. Yeah. Alright guys, I gotta go. Thanks for listening to me. I hope this information is informative to some of you guys. I'm still going to try to find a place to post my speech. I would give you guys the link to it on Google Docs, but like I don't know for certain if I give you the link, it allows you to edit it. So I don't want you guys editing it, obviously. Let's see. Print. Google Doc. let's see. Stop sharing your file. How to protect a sheet in Google Docs. How to lock a Google document. Oh, I can export it as a PDF and put it on Google Drive. That sounds a really smart idea. File. Download as PDF. I should probably put my name on it. The speech for I'm gonna put you guys. Okay, wait. File. Download as PDF. Okay, it's this one. All right, let's put this in Google Drive. Patience of a job, brother, good speech. God bless you for it. That's it. I'm going to be there with my club and beat the hippies down. Go to Google Drive. The fuck is that? I don't know what that is. Can I make a folder? Okay, that's some weird shit some other people have shared with me. Wait, superhero application? What is this? Oh wow, this is old. I know what that is. It's from a different era. Some old legitimate Google documents. Google Photos. How do I make a photo? How do I make a folder? New folder. Rally speech. Create. Alright, let's take this, drag it inside. Alright, how do I share this? Alright, how do I share it? How do I share it? Can I share it? Open with, share. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Get shareable link. Anyone with this link can view it. All right, guys, I'm gonna pop this in. Here's what's on my YouTube. Let's pop it on the Periscope. For those that can yank it off the Periscope. The Periscope. Let's throw it on my Twitch. Or I could just throw it on my Twitter. That's probably easier. Or I could just throw it on my Twitter. God, please let this be the right link. Or I could just throw it on my Twitter. Please let this be your right link. Alright, guys. I'm out. Okay, I will talk to everybody later. Yeah, thanks for popping in. Take care, everyone. I'm gonna go. Night, night.